Welcome to the Sales Revolution. I'm Ingrid Maynard, founder and managing director of The Sales Doctor. And for the last nearly 25 years, I've been working with leaders and organisations to bring out the best performance in salespeople and sales leaders. I absolutely love salespeople because they're the people that never pass go. They're always judged by their past performance or their most recent past performance. And it takes a special kind of a person to have your results visible to the entire organisation. And sometimes, if it's a listed organisation, to shareholders and the public as well in annual reports. So I have the utmost respect for salespeople. I call myself one. So I created this podcast called The Sales Revolution on purpose. And I wanted this introduction to really set the scene for what it is and what it isn't. I'll start with what it isn't. It isn't a podcast about selling skills, how to sell, how to account manage, how to cold call, all of those things deliberately, because where we're headed as organisations is not about tinkering around the edges of sales process and how we've sold for eons. Where we're headed is somewhere totally different. And unless we actually have a complete paradigm shift in the way that we think about our organisations, think about our customers, think about our salespeople, and think about the people in our organisations differently, we're not going to make it. It's going to be too hard. And so when I talk about the sales revolution, it's underpinned by a philosophy that I've developed that I think is the antidote, not only to what we're facing now, but to what we'll continue to face going forward. So the podcast is a way shower. It's a series of interviews and some little monologues along the way, but the interviews are really showcasing leaders, experts and organisations that are demonstrating the way forward. They're talking about examples of how they're enacting the mutual mattering philosophy, which is something that I developed because it underpins the behaviours throughout an organisation that are all about mutual enrichment. By understanding that everyone in the organisation has customers who matter and to whom we each need to be of service. And when an organisation behaves in this way, the culture is one of magnetism. People are drawn to it. And it's not just any person, it's the right people are drawn to it because they're crystal clear about what they're about and they enact across the organisation to one another within the organisation first, that culture of mutual enrichment and mutual mattering. So the right people are drawn to it, they perform for it, and they want to belong to it. And those people are internal stakeholders and also external stakeholders, including customers that pay us money for the product or service that we provide. But beyond that, we need to expand our definition of what a customer actually is and how we can be of service. That doesn't mean that we need to be servants, but it does mean that we do need to be of service. And I actually think that if we extend that philosophy out beyond our organisation, well into the community, which is what our businesses are really a part of when we think about it, when we extend that out, that energetic pull to being of service for another human being is something that can transcend all sorts of things because it's really about connection. To me, this is really about going way beyond customer centricity. I know that that's been talked about. People talk about the customer experience, but this to me is a way of being. It's about being a magnetic organisation so that you're not only drawing people to you, and they're wanting to be a part of this and belonging to this, but in so being who you are to the nth degree, you become impossible to replicate, and who doesn't want that as an organisation, and even harder to catch. I want you to be in a league of your own by remembering what really matters and connecting to something bigger than ourselves. Join me on the Sales Revolution.